Facebook.
Everybody on
Hi, Facebook people.
I don't have it on my phone.
All right, you guys, don't worry about it. It's fine. All right, Facebook, we are live. So I'm going to go check out our video online. We have Lorenzo Hickey here, who's my co-host, which you guys have seen a ton. We also have Wendy Anderson, and we have Stacy Fabian.
Hi.
So you guys get to learn all about these beautiful women in the studio today and this handsome gentleman, which they already know about you. So may not be anything that they are wondering who you are, Lorenzo.
I don't know. You have new listeners who probably don't know who I am.
Yeah,
So.
And it's always delayed a little bit if you're like on your thing for Facebook, but I just like to pull up the video. That way if anyone does make a comment or anything, I have the opportunity to respond to them. So just make sure you put them on silent. And that's where we are today. Yeah, so you can see me just fine. I'll just slide in when I need to, but I think the frame is good. It's plenty good. In fact, I even think we could slide this over and catch that little Voice America sign in there.
Almost, yeah. When we get to the delay, we'll see it.
Yeah. Once
if it comes
we
out
get to that part. So, awesome.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Everybody can hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll just go around, start at mic 1 and do just a count back from 5.
That's you.
Oh, is that me? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, mic 2.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, cool. Mic 3.
I think that's you, Wendy.
I'm not hearing anything. You can't hear me?
Oh, Wendy can't hear anything, so hold on.
I just adjusted her. Can you hear now?
Can you hear now?
Speak to us. 5, 4.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are you hearing anything? She's not hearing anything on hers.
Yeah, you might want to have to turn up on the little box there.
That one. All right, I got it. You got her?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Is that too high or is that okay?
Turn it down a little bit.
Turn it down a little bit. She's like, Colleen is loud, man.
More? Good?
All right, so I'm going to have to hear mic 3 again.
Okay, mic 3 again. So go ahead again, Wendy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, the 5 was good. The 4, 3, 2, 1 kind of faded off. So if you are talking quieter, make sure you lean into the microphone a little closer.
Okay.
All right, and let's go finally mic 4.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, cool.
You have to use your power voice today.
Get on in that diaphragm.
Dig
I'm
deep.
like always loud, so it's really easy for me.
Same.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Then I think we're good to go here.
Okay.
Let me make sure that my message is coming to you.
Okay.
Hilo, I guess. I can't spell today.
Halo. I got it.
All right, cool. All right, well, we'll get going in about 14 seconds.
Okay, sounds good. That's awesome. Have you listened to the... for all of you out there on Facebook, if you guys are on listening to us today, feel free to send in comments or questions. You can always email info, but if you're on Facebook, you can just put a comment right there if you'd like. But we're going to put all the guest information.
Are you ready to lead without permission and take the steps needed to live your best life? Whether you want to start the business of your dreams or celebrate your present and future accomplishments, you're definitely in the right place.
Soothing.
Now, here is your host, Colleen Biggs.
Oh, baby.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the show. I should say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from whatever time zone or 13 countries you're listening from today. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and you are listening to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. And I have some awesome guests in the studio. No call-ins today. They're physically with me. It's so awesome because now I have all the energy in one room. So I have my co-host, Lorenzo Hickey, here, and you guys have met him before. Lorenzo, say hi to our listeners.
Hi, listeners. Welcome today.
And we've got Wendy Anderson here with us today. Wendy, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. And then we've got Stacy Fabian here with us today. Stacey,
hello.
say hi. All right. So you guys are going to learn a little bit more about these beauties here in a minute. And I'm so excited to have them here today because our show is all about Zone of Genius. And I want to just start by something really quickly that hit me today. And I know that I can't play this, on the radio. I don't have rights for it, but all of you can go search this. I searched it on YouTube or Amazon Music, and you're welcome, YouTube and Amazon Music, for me giving you shout outs. And you can go out and listen to it. it's Champion, and it's Ludacris and what did I say her name was?
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie
Carrie,
Underwood. What
yeah.
the freak? It's already out of my mind. I just move so fast I can't even keep up.
Yeah,
Like literally, that's how it
The
happens.
brain cycles.
So I love the power. She like exudes power, right? And I really feel that that she always positions herself with music to help lift other people. And the song is called Champion, and it's about being a champion in your life. And go look it up and play it, because it's one of those songs that you play it and you just start rocking out right away, because you're just like, yes, I feel amazing, right? And so I wanted to share with my listeners really quick. They spell out to them what the word champion means. And what I love about it is it really resonates with me. It resonates with Lead Up for Women, and the C's for courage. So write this down if you're not driving. But if you're listening to the podcast, you're sitting around, this is a really good opportunity for you to have this in front of you. So the H is for honor, because you're going to have to go through some hurt to get to the honor. The A is for attitude. The M in champion stands for motivation. The P is for persevere. The I is for integrity. O is for optimistic. And N means it's necessary, so never give up. So this is a really good thing for you to have just chilling around your house, so you can look at it every day, because every day that you get up, you should just never give up.
Yeah,
right?
I love that. And the other thing, I saw another post earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to read this to you. It says, all you can change is yourself, but sometimes that changes everything.
Well, I always said, if you want to, sometimes you just may change the world and you don't even know it yet.
Exactly.
And so our listeners hear that on a commercial, like you don't even know you're that person that's going to change the world yet. So you just have to trust and lean into your power. And we help women with Lead Up for Women. So if you haven't been to our website, leadupforwomen.com, get your little booty on over there and at least get signed up for our newsletter. We have so many options. And the reason why we have this amazing community of women is so that we can elevate like-minded women to really lean into their purpose, and with passion to like tap into their power. Because when you ignite and unleash the power of a woman, come on, Lorenzo, you can tell me.
Let's face it,
like,
women are the only people that can multitask. They can do it all. They can take care of their kids. They can take care of their job. They can take care of their friends or partners. They multitask like anybody. They're like
got a lot
super
of power.
highway.
Yeah.
They do all the lanes all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But today we're going to talk about staying in your own lane, because we're going to talk about zones of genius. So we don't want you to be in too many lanes. And it's hard for women. That's why we're talking about it, because of what you just said.
Yeah,
we have
exactly.
so many identities that we want to be 1,000% at each one. And it's hard. And there's no such thing as balance. I'm sorry, I'm here to share the bad news with you. There's no way
Demystify
to
balance. Yeah.
purposefully balance everything in your life. It's about priority.
Right.
What is the biggest priority? What is the priority for you? And the biggest priority for you should be to fill yourself first. So when you're full and your cup is full, then it will runneth over, and then you can serve everyone else. The problem is we try and run around and put everyone's oxygen masks on the plane first, and then we pass out by row 3. Right? Doesn't that happen?
Love it. So I'm going to tap in.
Yeah.
So your word about staying out in your lane.
Yeah.
So the word focus is also critical.
Good.
So let's
Good.
do with focus like champion. Focus. Follow one course until success.
Perfect.
Right?
I love
so
it.
ladies, stay in your
Follow
lane.
one course until success.
Focus.
That's good. Focus. That's a good one. We'll have to put that one up on the website too. That's good. Or up on Facebook or something. So I want to cover our events on what we have for you to be able to lean into your purpose and ignite your power before we get to our interviews today. And the next one we have coming up is a free webinar. What would your excuse be for not jumping in on a free webinar that's 1 hour? But I don't know. I didn't hear one. So my assumption would be that we would just go ahead and run on over to leadupforwomen.com. Or you go to our Facebook page and the events there. It's free. It's a click of an RSVP. It's free. And then you show up. And by the way, for our members, then we archive that for you, and it becomes a learning tool. At any time, you can go back and go in and watch that. It becomes your learning tool. And we have Meredith Allen teaching on this upcoming one on November 12th. And she's teaching on clarity, connection, and courage. Level up your business and life in 2020. She has been on NBC, Fox, ABC, CBS. She was an
Superstar.
anchor for a long, long, long time. She was on she had the Meredith show. She wanted wanted to take Oprah's place. She wanted to take Barb Walters' place. She worked with Barb Walters. So she's been around the block quite a few times, and she's so freaking young too. I just see what she's accomplished in her young years, and I'm like, I am behind, girl. I feel like I gotta catch up.
Yeah, she was on the last show a couple shows ago now.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Yeah, she was a panel member as well, but she's going to be teaching us this and have the tools for you to be able to do it. So again, this is just a free lesson for everyone who wants to jump on. And then in December, we do a Teaching Tuesday. So it's always the second Tuesday of every month. We've got Carrie Ann Golliver. I love the title of hers. It's called Women Waking Up to Wealth. She said, girls have guns too. The secret weapon to how women are dominating the franchise industry and finding the rich. So she is a franchise matchmaker in the franchise world. So anyone thinking that they might want to start a business but not feeling as if they want to do it on their own, which we Lead Up for Women's here to support you. Right. But in addition to that, maybe they're just not comfortable with wanting, they want all the processes in place, all the best procedures. They want all the marketing already ready for them. They don't want to have to think. Right. They just want to throw their genius in. She will help you understand how you can figure out which one's the best.
She's got a great message about the do's and don'ts for franchising.
Heck
and very specifically, she has a network of both franchisees opportunities and the way you can search franchises. So really terrific lady.
She's good. And then the the big events we have coming up in 2020. Right now, we're scheduled for 4, and all the dates are going to be released and the locations very soon. But the very first one is going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona on February 6th through the 9th, and this is a Be You, Be Strong retreat/sanctuary. I like to call it a sanctuary because retreat means you move away from, you go back away from and you retreat. Mm-hmm. This is absolutely opposite of that. You are showing up bold, beautiful, as you, exactly how you are. And there are only 20 women that are chosen for this sanctuary.
Selection process.
Because it has to be a sacred space that nurtures the growth and for women to feel safe enough to shed all their layers and really be them. That is a scary thing for women, to literally take the masks off, leave all the cloaks in the closet, walk out and say, this is me. This is exactly who I am, and I'm showing up as me, because that's when you can really tap into your power. That's when you can really understand your blind spots. We're going to have workshops working through the blind spots. We're going to have personal branding. We're going to teach you how to level up your business and your personal life. There's a lot that's going to be into that. And this is pamper you, baby. Pamper you to, I have a personal chef coming, our paleo boss lady, Mrs. V. She's going to be showing up to cook all of our meals. I have a mansion that I rented. It's just this 8-bedroom, beautiful, 11,000 square foot mansion. We're talking to the hilt, pampered, all inclusive. Everything's taken care of. 3 days of just you time. Talk about pouring into your cup.
The perfect time to be in Arizona.
Are you kidding me?
So cool.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah. Really excited about that. And you can apply. All you have to do is contact me at info@leadupforwomen.com, and I will send you an application. So that's the best way to do it. You can ping me over on Facebook, but I wanted everyone out there to know it's coming and the application process is starting. Mm-hmm. So only 20 spots.
Yeah. It's limited, but the other thing too, I think it's probably worth
noting.
Actually,
we're down to 16 spots now.
So here's what's really cool. You want people that are ready to go. So you ladies, here's the thing. You have an idea, you've got a concept, you can nurture that and make that happen here, but also you need to be able to step into your power right away. Yeah. So this is about making it happen real time.
Yeah. What do you want to gain out of this?
When you leave, you're going to have contacts, opportunities, and vision for yourself. So it's going to be super
Sisters for life, those 20 sisters for life. And then we're adding 4 weeks of group coaching of accountability after, so that it just doesn't stop when you leave, right? You know how you go to a seminar, it's like, oh, it was so great. And then you did nothing with anything you learned. Yeah. No, I am not about that. We're talking take it, now execute it, now make it rain, girl. This is your time, right?
Colleen's code word for 2020, action.
Action.
2020,
Heck
action.
Yeah. Mine's about all being you. All being you. I'm always that way, though. All right, Stacy and Wendy. You guys have just been so silent and so respectful, and now they can hear you laughing. Thank you,
guests here. We got to hear your genius first.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. So I just get really excited. when things like, our magazine just came out, the newest edition, and when things like that happen, it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many great stories and there's so many tools for women with Lead Up for Women. That's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I have been called. This is my calling, and I need to let every woman know how amazing she is, how beautiful she is, how perfect she is just the way she is, and how you can tap into your power. And it's okay. Like, you don't have to like that. That's your opinion. I'm so comfortable with telling people that. That doesn't mean I change what I do or the way I do things. I do things my way.
Be authentic.
Yeah.
Be you and be authentic.
I know. Just me.
Way.
All right, Stacy. Tell me, girl.
Well,
you're authentic in your own right.
I am who I am. I don't have a lot of filter. I love it.
That's
what makes me
how
me.
Did your zone of genius? Tell me your story from. I don't care if you go back to say I was 2 when I realized, but today you own a digital. Would you call it a digital?
Yeah,
platform for.
Yeah, So my company is focused on helping small business owners just enhance their digital presence, whether that be their website, their email marketing, soon to be social media management. We want to help everybody, especially small business owners. I think a lot of times the smaller owners that can't afford yet a large firm, they need people, and they are an underserved section of small business owners. And I just found that turns out I have some knowledge to share, and I have some history that I can impart on those small business owners.
And Hello World
Hello
AZ.
World AZ. Yeah, thanks. I should probably plug it, shouldn't I? Yeah.
Plug it, girl. I'm giving you the platform. Plug away.
Well, the other part of it, though, that I really am passionate about, and this is really more of the passion side of it. I mean, definitely love working with small business owners, but the huge passion of mine is empowering our youth. And the way that I do that is through code education. I think that we hear a lot about how STEM and code, it's a big buzzword these days. And it absolutely should be. I mean, computers and technology, it's not going anywhere. It's only more in our lives. So I figure, why not teach our youth how it works and how to handle it? Because then they can use it to enhance their future and to grow, right? Like a lot of our teachers and our educators want to incorporate more of that technology. They also don't know how to do that. So that's the other piece of that arm of my passion. So the way I started out, though, to tell a little of the story, I won't go back to 2 because I'm sure my parents would have some really good stories to share. But I've always been an opinionated person that likes my path, and I have to learn things the hard way.
Yeah.
And so the way that I learned technology, after my second child, I stayed home. A lot of us, we find that after we have kids, it costs us more to work. And I really wanted to experience those first few beautiful years with my kids. Turns out, I love my children, just not 24/7.
Amen, sister. That's okay to say that too.
You know what? I used to feel embarrassed about it, but it's who I am. Yeah. I love my babies, but I need to be a little bit of me. So I quickly learned that it works better for me to have a little bit of identity outside of my kids because then I can be a better mom, I can be a better wife, all those things. So my husband, I can't thank enough for him. He pushed me to be in technology. He said, he's always been in technology. And he said, you would be so good as a software developer or a QA or something. Just try it. And we were living in Portland, Oregon at the time. And code schools were the big thing. So I thought, you know what, I'll do this. And it was intense. 16 weeks of in the evening and on the weekends, I was learning. How to develop from server to front end. And for people who are not in technology, that means all the stuff you don't see and then all the stuff you do see.
Yeah.
Okay? So I learned it all. And it was hella hard, let me tell you. I would be a mom during the day. I'd high-five my husband literally in the hallway on the way out to the coffee shop and learn how to do it. That process taught me that the way that we learn is different for everybody. And it also taught me that I have a knack for breaking these things down into bite-sized pieces and teaching it to other people.
Yeah, perfect.
Come and go. I have this opportunity to start a company and get into schools. A lot of our schools are handed this requirement to include technology education, but they don't know how to do it. And I have figured out some ways to help the schools do that, but also just to help kids learn it. I mean, kids learn in a different way, and they also learn really fast. But they need to learn piece by piece. Problem solving, logical progression. Unfortunately, those are not skills that we're born with. We have to learn that. And I have found that I teach the kids, as it turns out, pretty well. well. And I got to tell you, it is really hard to sit here sometimes and talk about yourself in the positive.
You're doing such a great job.
Thank you. My husband, again, has taught me to really just be proud of how good I am at some things. And that's another thing that when I work with kids and when I work with small business owners, generally I do work with a lot of women, that we have to learn that we're good at something. And so I find that I am constantly reminding these students to find the small successes and realize that those are huge to take you onto the path of learning something new. You know, can you imagine a kindergartner who can't even read coming in and learning to program a robot from point A to point B with obstacles in the way? A lot of people don't
kindergartner?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yes.
Oh, bring it. This is amazing.
I love it.
Oh, you're talking Lorenzo's language now. He's like, this is awesome.
Tech in the house, baby.
It is so good. I know. We could probably nerd out for a few days on it. But there are so many programs out there for non-readers, and that's kind of the classification if they can't read or if they're struggling. You know, and even you get kids up through second grade, they're still struggling with reading. Why not remove some of those barriers? And honestly, I've been very blessed to be in the space at this time. There's so many things out there that don't require me actually building anything for them. There are programs that are designed for kids who can't read. There are games. I have so many apps on my phone. I'm sure people think that I just let my kids be on screen time, but there's so much stuff out there. And there's also so many things that are on the table. So we call those unplugged activities. You've got robots and games and all sorts of stuff. I find
unplugged activities.
Unplugged activities.
That was the key word right there.
Because
the plugged activity would be video games sitting in front of the TV.
Right.
Vegging out.
Which can be good. Don't get me wrong. I love to see a kid build his own or her own video game. It's really fun.
Oh, that's so different, though, than just taking a video game that exists and vegging out, right?
Yeah, I love watching children see their successes and fist pump in the air when they make it and they do something. That's really the best piece of it. So, that's really my biggest passion is getting kids into it, because I find that when they're good with technology, their math skills improve, their science skills improve. They're better at writing stories because they understand you start with the first and you work your way down to the next. You can't just get out there and start throwing words on a page and hope a story makes sense. You got to be logical. So the code education, I think a lot of people assume I want everyone to be a software developer, and that's not the case. I just want it to improve your life. It can improve your problem solving, logical progression, and all of that.
All right, listeners, I could go on with this for a really long time, but I know we have to take a break because we are really talking about helping children find the small successes, how they can unplug and do an activity that's an unplugged, quote unquote, unplugged activity. So stay with us, because in 2 minutes we're going to be back with Stacey Fabian. Talk to you guys in a minute. Bye.
Yay.
All right, great segment.
All right,
all clear.
we're clear.
Our Facebook fans.
So now we have 2 minutes. So talk to Facebook real quick. I want you guys all to know this guy right here in the background, which freaked Stacy out when he walked in. So this is my husband, and he is my videographer, photographer. He owns his own business. Everyone knows that, Phoenix Drone Pros and Robert Worth Photography. And so he does all of the videography and photography at all of our events. And he comes into the studio. So I will be sharing all of these videos with you so you guys can have them to use for if you want to use them on your website or promote, like, hey, guess what? I was on an interview. And it's just really great, because how often do you have these props at home?
And this good look going on.
I gotta tell you, and I gotta tell you, my Starbucks barista was really impressed when I told her I was gonna be on the radio today.
You are awesome. Like, your hair is down in front.
You're so cute.
I literally just show up how I was like, today, nope, the hair's got to go back.
Would it be vain if I told you I put a pair of headphones on at home to see how I should put my hair? Totally. I knew we were going to be on. You got to have that. You got to have that persona.
I love that. I need to do more of that, probably.
No, I did not prep for the headphones.
But you look great. You look great.
You look beautiful.
Pulling it off. No, it's good.
No, you know, it's like, I think we have like probably 30 seconds or so.
Hey.
It's probably, I look at it, I look at it like when, you know, there's been times where I've shown up because I got really, really busy, and there's been times I've shown up and I was like in my yoga gear or whatever because I just wasn't feeling it that day. And I had my hair up, and I know Facebook, they get to see me in all my stages, so which is fine because I am in yoga clothes most of the time, and I call them yoga, but I'm in workout clothes a lot because I train people and I do work out, and so
and why not be comfortable every day?
And I don't get in these clothes that often anymore because I'm too busy doing everything else, and clothes aren't, it's very artificial on the outside. It doesn't make.
Are we going to come back to?
Oh my gosh, yes we are. Okay. We're coming back. No, but just a second because he's bringing us back on the radio in 10 seconds. I don't want any of our listeners to miss what she has to say.
Thank you.
So I want to go down the path of confidence.
Yeah.
For success.
Go ahead. I'll get us back and then I'll hand it over to you and you can ask her a question. But he's got really good questions.
9141.
Yeah, he does.
That's 1-888-346-9141.
You do. I just think you have great
I've
questions.
been catching up on some of your replays.
Yeah.
It's nice listening to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have fun. I'm blessed every day. This is my last show. I got to beg for some more.
Hey, listeners, we are back. And obviously, we're laughing. So we're having way too much fun here in the studio, which is exactly what you should do every day because you're creating your lifestyle and your business around your lifestyle. You want it to be fun. And we've been talking with Stacey Fabian. And before we went to break, she was talking a lot about confidence. She was talking a lot about children being unplugged and why she does what she does. And Lorenzo, you wanted to ask her a question.
Yeah, so it's related to confidence. So one of the things I think is terrific for kids in all cases, so plugged or unplugged, I'd like you to talk about what's your superpower specifically for driving confidence. So you've talked about a lot of framework pieces, but you've got some really, really great talent somewhere you haven't alluded to just yet. So talk about your superpower to build confidence not only in your children, but all the kids that you teach and the students that you have. This, I think that'd be terrific for the audience.
Question.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's funny you say with my own children because I think sometimes we're really good at those outside of our own nest,
Heard.
But the thing I have found that I do a lot is I try extremely hard to remind the kids to identify those small successes because they build the confidence. Because how many times are we told, oh, this is hard, you can't do this, or we're constantly being told how to improve something, which can translate to our psyche as, oh, I'm not doing it right.
I'm not
enough. Gosh, kids, women, men, all of us, we internalize that. So my biggest focus, the way that I run my courses and the way when I work with children, I find that I tap into them. Maybe I've got a childlike mind, I don't know, but I find that I can identify with those kids and see where they need the extra. I can have a kid who maybe is a little wiggly, figure out how to incorporate that. Maybe I've got a girl who's extremely quiet, or even a boy who's extremely quiet and just sits there and is deathly afraid of getting up and talking in front of the class. I intentionally incorporate class sharing comfortably in small little mediums and then also at the end of the session. So after school sessions is one of the things that I do. I run them after school, just like you would a chess club, anything like that. And I intentionally have the last session of any of the intermediate or advanced courses that I do include family, friends, parents, and have them come and listen to the child present what they do. Imagine.
Ding, ding,
yes,
ding.
There's just
awesome.
Watching a child be so excited to share what they did, even if it's just something as simple as making a robot go from one corner of the box to the next. The impression they get when people applaud them and are constantly being positive to them is something they can't let go. Even if they try to, so that's one of the things that's important to me. And I also, I work with kids individually, and I find that especially if they have learning differences, ADD, ADHD, autism, whatever the case may be, if they have a roadblock that is preventing them from feeling, as we would air quote that, normal, I love working with those kids because they really need someone to believe in them sometimes. And it's I always come back to, it's the small successes. They remember where to click. There's a program I use a lot with kids that's open source, and I encourage parents to include it for their kids. It's Scratch. It's actually built by MIT. It's a fantastic program that's been around for a while. And so, free plug for Scratch. But it's open source, meaning it's available to everybody. My point is that has an intermedium that they have to learn. They have to learn over here is the stage. That's where I see what I'm doing. Over here is where I control this object. If they remember that there is a starting trigger, we call that a starting event. So you press a button, you click on that item, and it does the thing that you've just told it to do. Can you imagine watching those kids? Their faces light up, and it is so much fun to see a child I see the light bulbs go off. I started in elementary ed when I spent a little bit of time in college and then realized that traditional education didn't work for me. And that time I realized I love the children. I may not like all the other stuff that comes with teaching, but I love working with the kids and seeing those light bulbs. It's amazing. So coding is a really great avenue for that, especially in these day and age that kids just want to be on a screen. So why not? I also call it productive screen time. time. It's extremely important that we allow our kids some flexibility, but also let's try and guide them. If they're going to be attached to a screen, let's make it valuable.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason that I really, really am passionate about getting, and boy, I sound like I'm from the Midwest there. Sorry.
You're good, girl.
I get all passionate about it. I become, Midwestern. And I just think that the kids really need to have an avenue where they feel success. And this is a great, because it's immediate. It gives that immediate gratification.
At a young age, for sure. They're facing a lot at that age with the growth and everything they're going through.
Yeah.
So where do you do this? I know we're in Arizona now, so you live in Arizona. So
full time.
Do you do any online, or is this all based in schools here in Arizona?
So my goal would be, I would love to be in every school in Arizona, honestly, across the country.
Yeah.
The intent behind my program is I can go into a school with my curriculum and I can hand it to a teacher. I want to train the teachers, and I hire the teachers on the campus to join me in these classes, because I believe that they absorb things. And I have had them tell me, I had one come up, Stacey, I'm so excited. I got to use what I learned in your class with some of my kids, and I helped them figure out how to do this. So what I want to do is get into all the schools. I'll be honest, it's hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of red tape. I had to go through some fingerprint clearancing and those kinds of things. But the reason I like to involve the teachers is they learn, and then they get to take something else back to their classroom, and they get to incorporate it. I also do private tutoring. I, of course, am only one person, so I'm also always looking for people who want to be tutors. I have to vet them, obviously, and I have high standards, I'm going to tell you now. But I want to get them working with kids, because I think that also helps. You've got a student who maybe just has a little extra time after school who can do it. And then it's not online yet, but that's the growth. That's part of the 5-year plan, is find ways to bring this online. I got to be honest, though, I'm having a little bit of a mental roadblock there, because there is so much value in the one-on-one with a student. And even if it's 10-on-1, if I'm in a class with 10 little kids, there's just so much value to them being with me right there and me walking them through the logic, because when I watch them,
technology, like Zoom and all those things, it's possible for you to do that.
And that's definitely part of the road, the plan.
How can we help you get the word out? So how can Lead Up help you? Tell all of our listeners, and we'll put it on Facebook in the comments, but tell them a website address or an email or phone number. What would you like to share?
Yeah, what I would love is for parents to tell their schools they want this, because a school is going to listen 1,000 times more if they realize that there's a solution out there and that the parents have a desire. I can come into schools after school, or even better, come in during the school day and help a school incorporate this into their everyday learning. Sometimes they're lucky and they have an educator that has a skill in this, but sometimes most times they don't. So that would be a huge win, just an introduction, because there is a lot of red tape to getting into charter, public, whatever it is. There's a lot of red tape getting into the schools. And then on the other side of that is just encouraging the school, even if it's not me, incorporating some STEM. I know that everybody feels like it's too much of a buzzword, but it is not, because it doesn't have to all be computer-based. I mean, it can be a lot of things. I love to consult with schools to help them, again, figure out how to incorporate not just the coding aspect, but the STEM side of it.
And how do they reach out to you to be able to contact you?
Hello World AZ is my website. You can also email Stacy, STACY, at helloworldaz.com. I put my personal email out there for that, because I want everybody to reach out. I really think that this should be in every school.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
I appreciate that.
Bet.
I mean, it's all about empowering the youth. Don't you agree, Lorenzo?
100% agree, but I have to tell you, the life lessons for the women audience as well, same thing. Many milestones, many capabilities, showing success, being witness. Same principles apply to every one of us every day.
Yeah.
How can we be witnessed and seen? So that is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank
Your
you.
Strength for Children.
I love it.
Cool.
I love
Thank
it.
you for all the work you're doing
Yeah,
with
they're
children.
pretty wonderful little beings.
And we're
We
in
just have
AZ
to-
now, but you know,
you know what? I want to be Hello World.
Yeah.
International.
We'll talk offline, but I have a new brand for you. My parents and me, code me.
I love it.
In the afternoon after school.
I love
My
it.
parents and me, digital.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That's great. Yeah, that's what Lorenzo's here for.
I love it.
To
You have
help
great
out with
ideas.
that.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks,
Yeah.
We'll make
Stacey.
that
So
happen.
stay in the conversation,
You need a
Stacey,
lawyer, by the
but,
way.
As it turns out,
I think we have one for her.
But we have an attorney here, Wendy, which would be great. So, Wendy, what I loved about you, Wendy, and Wendy owns her own law group. Is it Anderson Law? Wendy Anderson?
Law Office of Wendy Anderson.
Office of Wendy Anderson. And what I love your story about how you went back to school and how you empower women and men to stay in their zone of genius. And you can do this as an attorney. So most people would think, oh, as an attorney, she does attorney work. But when people come to you, you're really empowering them and explain how, we had you on our Thrive Thursday a few months back and highlighted you because you were nominated as somebody who others felt were inspired to thrive from. And so thank you for that, for allowing us to put you on that platform and spotlighting you. But tell our listeners a little about how you got to where you are today and why you're so freaking awesome.
Well, my professional career started in the marketing world. I was a media buyer for years, and then I was a marketing director at a few really large corporations here in Arizona. And I had the opportunity to manage staffs and to manage large budgets and to really run my own department and see how important it was to have the support behind me so that I could do my job while letting other people do what they do in the corporation. I couldn't get my goals accomplished if they also didn't get their goals accomplished.
Sure.
And I saw what it took to be successful in business. You have to not only do your job correctly, you have to have support from the top, you have to have support from all sides around you and from workers that work in your department. And so I took that experience and 22 years later decided that I needed to do more with that working in the corporate world was not enough for me. I wanted to take another step, and after a great amount of research, a great amount of talking to my family, and I won't say getting approval from them, but sort of getting their understanding for me to leave the corporate world, take a few years off, go to law school, and then sort of start over. So I did that at age 47.
You just started anew. That's all. You didn't start over. You just started something new.
I started my second chapter. I was definitely middle-aged. Went to law school, and I was not the only one. There were many other people there in the same life stage as I was. And then when I graduated, which is almost 5 years ago, I decided to start my own firm so that I could do things the way I wanted to do them. There is a very standard way that law firms do business. And I wanted to do things a little bit differently and reach out to people in a different way. And I love being able to work with clients who are starting their own business and need support, whether they know they do or not. And what I really, really enjoy about meeting with new clients is, given my business background, I can talk to them not only about legally what they need for this business that they are working on themselves and where their zone of genius is in what they do, what they build, what they create, what they produce, but also the other things that they need and give them referrals to people that can help them, right? My zone of genius is not accounting. My zone of genius is not financial management. It is not insurance. All of those things, but those are all things that a business person needs to get started. My zone of genius at this point, after my education, is helping them with the legal matters and what they need to get their business started, to grow their business, to bring on employees, to expand their sphere of influence as they grow their business, but to do it in a legally compliant way and in a way that also empowers them. What I've found from a lot of women especially is that they want to do it all, right? We think we can do it all. We know we're smart. We know we're capable. And we feel like we should be able to do it. And the truth is, we shouldn't be able to do it all. We
and
really
we can,
should.
But you don't have to show off, right? We can. It's just that we don't have to show off.
Right.
Like,
and how much time would it take?
With their feathers,
how much time and effort and frustration would it take to do it all ourselves because we don't know everything. Right. So I tell people, go talk to an insurance broker. I don't try to teach. I don't try to learn that. I don't try to tell them that.
That is the perfect example. You're not the jack of all trades. Like your zone of genius is, this is what I do. I can help you with the legal entities of getting your business all incorporated and where it needs to with whatever the legal entities are. This is what I do.
Right.
Everything else, I have connections and resources for you. But I'm not going to touch that world.
Yes.
Because I don't understand it.
Right.
Perfect.
Right.
I love that. You also had mentioned that you encourage them to believe in their talents. So just like you're that example, like you just said, this is what I do well, you encourage them to believe in their talents. How do you do that?
Well, when somebody will come to talk to me and consult with me and tell me what they are looking to do and see how I can help them, I try to get out of them what is their passion? Why are they getting into this business? What do they want to do? What do they want to accomplish? What's their end game? So that I can see the long term of where they want to go and help them along the way to get there, and also to encourage them to stay on that path and to get better at what you are good at, and to let other people help you with things that they are good at. We can't learn everything. We will not succeed if we try to learn everything. We will stay in one place trying to become master of everything and, succeeding at very little. Of course, there are certain people that can do it. And we all wish we were them.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we need to know what we're good at, and we need to appreciate and honor within ourselves what we are good at and what we are talented at, and where our zone of genius is, and stay there and do that fabulously, and find the other people that do their own zone of genius fabulously. And what I can do is help people with their legal issues and questions, and help them put things together that they may not even have thought of, just because they're not aware of what is really necessary or a good practice, a good way to do things.
Lorenzo, what is with Shapeshift World, your company, what is your tagline?
You do what you do best, and we do the rest.
That's
right.
A great tagline.
Yeah, so they believe in that as well, you know, and that's why Lorenzo's working with me. But I wanted to bring that up because it's so important that as an attorney, I'm blown away that if I were to walk into your office and say, well, I have this business and I need to do this legal paperwork or whatever I need to do, I would think that you would just be very much black and white. Okay, this is the paperwork you need. Let's fill this out. Let's sign this. To me, law's been very dry, I guess is the word. But you're just so nurturing. And tell me a little bit about tell me your story. Why are you starting this business? What is this? What's the end game of your business? And I love that you're taking the time, because that's how you can properly serve them. That is so unique. That is not normal.
She
you do know that, right, Wendy?
Well, I'm in this with them for the long term.
We're not here to be normal.
I'm not looking for a one-time transaction. I want to be there as a resource for them through the entire life of their business.
Absolutely. Gosh, that's awesome. We still have about a minute or so till break. So Lorenzo, go ahead if you wanted to ask a question.
I'm going to seed this as would be the hook for the next after the break.
Okay.
One of the greatest things that you've said about your combination of legal and marketing background is the perfect combination, because anybody that comes to you that needs to start up their business and manage their business, they need to know how to make their business work. So, but the key I want you to touch on when we come back is thinking about legal services as you provide is how does that become an insurance policy for them? Because the one thing that people don't think about in business is how am I incorporated? What does that look like? I would love for you to explain why those things are critical to your business, because you want to protect your intellectual property, you want to protect your business. So if you could just tell us how and why your services are so important, not just that you can help them, but you can actually save them some time and money in long term.
Sure.
That'd be cool. So you can start, or get what do you want to do next?
How to protect your business.
How do you protect your business legally? Why does it make sense? All right, you guys,
we're going to head off to break, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay with us as we're talking to Wendy Anderson.
Do a photo.
All right, good. All clear.
Yeah?
Did you want one?
You want a group photo real quick?
Just everybody
And you
right
can't
there.
stand there in front of our little Facebook friends when your back just
I know.
splat.
You're gonna
Showing off
You're
your...
doing good. All right, your
Robert's
cans
showing
really
off
quick.
his butt to all of
ladies.
our, I'm assuming we're doing this because...
Your best parts?
Yeah, do you want to jump in there? I'm assuming we're doing this because Robert has to leave. Is that why we're doing
I
this?
got everything I need. Okay, ready? 2, 3. Let's do another 1, 2, 3. That's beautiful.
Thanks, hon.
Awesome.
Thanks, Robert. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How do you guys like? This is what we do in the studio. We sit and take photos, and it's so much fun. And the listeners on
my
Voice
gosh.
America,
I love being in
listeners on Voice America, they don't get all this fun stuff.
You guys are awesome.
You know.
I didn't look too much like a deer in headlights.
Great.
You know, I send the photos to everyone, and sometimes they're like, I got like 1 or 2 good ones out of that. And I went through them, and Robert obviously only sent what he thought was great. And then it all goes down to that one person. They're like, oh, one of those actually turned out to be good. I'm like, what? You got to be kidding me. No, there's way more than that.
We are all critical of ourselves.
I know.
Aren't we our worst enemy? I mean, we really are.
But we really need to not be. And I say that because we are so unique. Like, there isn't anyone else out there like us. So, you know, we say all the time, stop blending in and stand out and be you, because you're the best you can be, you know. And we need to do more to stand out and be our own, because that's why people are so attracted to you. Because you're not like anyone else, and you stand out, and they're like,
yeah.
Wow, they're so different.
A friend of mine actually was so wonderful. She made a post about me. She was shouting me out. And she made a comment that really stuck with me, you know, talking about how we think that we're too, you know, I say I'm confident, I've got a lot of personality, and that has a negative connotation to it. But her point was, but that's what makes you you, and that's what makes you so powerful. And her point was, there's some people who are confident and they are so inward thinking, and then there are people who are confident and outward thinking and thinking of others first. I think you're a great example of that too. I mean, when you can be powerful and help get other people, I didn't think about it until she said it, and I was like, wow, that's a really powerful statement.
True, yeah, we need to be powerful in our own right, and whatever that is, you know. I don't think Beyonce's up there apologizing. Sorry, guys, that I'm
sorry
such
to be
an
Beyonce.
amazing singer and provide you with a plethora of songs for you to get through every event in your life. She's not apologizing for being powerful and amazing in her talent. So why should we apologize for that?
I love it.
You know?
But I think so many of us have faced that.
Yes.
In corporate jobs.
Oh my goodness.
And
hence why I don't work
and
for
it starts
corporate.
when we're young. I mean, it starts when we're young, and we're constantly compared against
Jump
each
in when
other.
you need to, Monk.
All right, yep, we're just about to come back.
I think I get on a soapbox about standardized tests on that whole concept. But this is not the platform.
I'll give you an example, and I said this on the phone the other day
You were listening to Lead
when
Up
we
for
get
Women.
back, and then we'll
Speak
jump
up
into
to
what you
lead
were
up.
saying.
To reach the show today,
We'll just
please
let this
call
play out. All right, Facebook, you guys are doing awesome hanging out in there.
Yeah.
Hey, Meredith. What's up, Denise? Hi, Karen. Hi, Nicole.
You may also send
So
an
glad you
email
guys are
to
joining
info
us today.
at leadupforwomen.com. Now, back to this week's show.
Okay, here we go. All right, listeners, we are back. And I am so sorry you missed that 2 minutes of commercials that you had to listen to. You might want to head over to our Facebook page at Lead Up for Women, because all the background stuff of us and our conversations that we're having that are way more in depth. We were talking a lot about tapping into your power and being unique. And I don't remember what I was going to say, so I'm just going to hand it off to you. I had something like very powerful that I was going to talk about, but again, it'll come back to me, and when it does, I'll be like, wait, I remember what it was. But what I'd like to do is just, oh no, I remember it now. See? Okay, so I had my 10th grandbaby born just one week ago, right? So thank you so much. And it didn't dawn on me until my husband said to me, which is the grandpa, what was his APGAR score? What? Huh? He said, what was his APGAR score? That's where they score the baby the moments of its first breath. If it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 10's the best. Yeah. I go, well, I think it was a 10, but I don't really think it matters. Why does that matter? And I went, we are judging babies the second they come out and take a breath. If you are missing a toe, you're lower on the score. Yeah. So you're not perfect. Did anyone think about that? Like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. The second that baby comes out, you are judged by society on if you are perfect or imperfect.
Yeah, that's intense.
It never stops.
Yep.
So we have to stand up to that individually as people. And Wendy, you were just talking about how you help people stand up to that. And Lorenzo had asked you a question from the legal standpoint. Other than nurturing their talents and finding out about their uniqueness and helping them in that, you protect them legally.
Yes.
And that can save everything for them.
Ideally, my entire day, week, month would be filled with doing things proactively, helping people protect in the hopefully rare event in the future that something goes wrong. Things do go wrong, so hopefully we can put something together that anticipates what a problem might be and put something in a document, because that's how we do things in the society. We put things in writing and we make people sign their names to them.
Always.
But if we can think about that ahead of time and put it in an agreement and make sure that both sides understand what they're signing, right? Then hopefully if there is a disagreement, we know how we're going to solve it. We know what the resolution is already. And there's a lot of things that when women are starting businesses, they don't think about. What they think about is, I do this, I produce this, I'm going to sell you this for this price on this date, and if you don't like them, I've got a warranty, or if they break, I've got a warranty. Okay, so those are the basics, and obviously we need that, and we need agreement on all of that. But there's so many other things to think about that can go wrong in a relationship, and hopefully they don't, but they do in some cases. And when we think about those things ahead of time, we can protect against them. And some of these things that people may not think about are, as Lorenzo, you said, ownership of intellectual property, right? Some of us hire people to write things for us, or to create, or to design. And according to the law, the person who writes, designs, creates has ownership to that. And you may not think that. It may be illogical that if I hire somebody to design a logo for me, I should own that.
Yep.
But I only own that if we have an agreement that says that. Otherwise, they have the trademark rights. They own that intellectual property
Important parts.
without an agreement to the contrary.
Yeah.
And so that's just one situation. I mean, there could be anything. What if you provide a service, right? Somebody providing a service to somebody else, and the results don't go exactly as expected, right? I mean, something happened, whatever, the outcome is not exactly what they expected. Well, was that a breach of the contract? Was that a default on somebody's part? What are the definitions of that? What encompasses success and satisfaction such that one person will pay the other for their services? And thinking down the road as to, okay, if somebody is a writer, let's say, and they're providing their writing service, and I'm not happy with the result, what then is my remedy? And how do we resolve that ahead of time? And let's think about that now, so that if that situation comes up, it's already in writing and we know how we're going to resolve it, and we don't end up in a nasty, bitter fight with attorneys on both sides, and we end up threatening that we're going to go to court. That's just the worst situation that could happen. Let's think about it ahead of time and think down the road with what I do in my business. What are some of the things that could go wrong, and how do we protect against them ahead of time? And that is where my passion is. That is why I really want to get into the business of what do my clients do, so I can think, gosh, what could happen in this business? I don't know anything about the making of this type of widget business, but I could envision that there might be a production problem, a delivery problem. If the power goes out and they can't produce something, whose fault is that? Who's responsible? I mean, things like that. That yes, delivery is going to be late. My client may be unhappy because I couldn't produce their stuff in time. Am I responsible or am I not responsible? So things like that. I mean, every client is different, obviously, different situations. But it all comes down to let both parties who are getting into this relationship understand what we're going to do if something goes wrong. And that not only helps down the line, but it helps right in the beginning. It solidifies the relationship so that we are all on the same page. Everybody understands what's going on. And it is a great, solid relationship from the start. Everybody trusts everybody. The agreements are clear. The words are clear. It's not in legalese. It's not in 50 pages. It may be 10 pages, but there are a lot of things that we need to consider. And doing it up front and then putting it in the drawer and forgetting about it is the ideal situation.
Yeah, the beauty of it, you're doing that for them. Yes. And so you're showing them, here are all the holes that we need to plug.
Right.
Yep. And then without you, they don't know where the holes exist.
Right.
And so they leave themselves up for a lot of possible legal troubles in the future.
Right.
And legality issues and liabilities that they wouldn't even comprehend existed because they don't think that way. They're not supposed to. Their zone of genius is producing a widget.
Right. Yeah, stay in your lane.
Their zone of genius isn't figuring out what the issues are legally.
I have a lot of clients come to me where they've gotten into a dispute over something, and they'll pull out the agreement that they have, and it's a 1 or a 2 pager. And they say, I'd like to keep the agreement simple. And that's okay, but what's not in the agreement is more important in so many cases than what is in the agreement.
Right. Of course.
And if you don't anticipate those things and don't put it there, that's where the disputes are going to come in. So that's why the agreements have to be long. People look at me and they say, oh my gosh, that's so many pages. Why does it have to be so long?
Yep.
It has to be so long because we want to consider everything. Because if you don't, that's where there's ambiguity and misunderstanding and...
So. People are good-natured, but once a situation comes up, I got to imagine people are not unhappy they've hired you and had you around. You know, I got to imagine they're very thankful that they partnered with you.
I so appreciate you saying that because I've had several clients who come back to me the first time that they'll use an agreement, they'll come back to me and they'll say, "Oh my goodness, I feel so confident. I feel so protected. I have this agreement behind me, and I can move. What's wrong? I am covered."
Yeah.
And that's the weight I want to take off their shoulders. Right. You have enough on your plate when you're starting these nagging legal things in the back be on your shoulders. Let's get them taken off, put them on paper, stick it in a drawer, and forget about it and know that.
Perfect.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things that Colleen spoke about at the beginning of the show, and maybe staying making that work. So one of the things that's really great about what you're doing is calls what if legal clarity. Right, and that's the insurance we all want. Put it in the drawer, let it walk away. But for those listeners that have a business and are in that state, as you said, there is so many different ways to have legal agreement. So it's whether it's a partnership, a customer agreement, warranty agreement. Yeah, that's why you go to the what if legal clarity person over here and make it happen. Because Wendy can take you through that. It's hugely important to you in your business. Mostly peace of mind. You can go to sleep, do what you do best.
Yeah, we talk about clarity all the time. Very clear on understanding that you need to partner and hire other people to help you with your business. And we talk a lot about it, bringing that can help them in that area. And so thank you so much for being here. Now, you practice just in Arizona? Are you
I just
certified?
Practice in Arizona, right.
So if someone lives in Arizona and they need your services, how would they reach you?
Very easy. Website is WendyAndersonLaw.com. Okay. Or you can go onto Facebook, Wendy Anderson Law, and send me a message.
Yeah.
And all my contact information is on my website.
Wonderful.
I answer my own phones. I do it all.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because I'm a total control freak.
Sound like one.
No.
I think it's more
like
of
the
that
hands-on.
nurturing, like having those conversations. Because I'm not a control freak when it comes to talking to women before I put them on the show. It's very important to me that my conversation I have with them, that I know that what they're offering the listeners is going to be something that is advantageous for the listeners. It's going to be something that's helpful, inspirational, motivational, that you have a skill or a story or something that's inspiring, because I protect my listeners. And same with you. You want to make sure that who you work with is the right client. That's okay. Totally fine. Yeah, I agree.
The last thing that I want is for somebody in their business to be worried about a legal thing that keeps them from their zone of genius.
Oh, it could totally break you.
Don't be preoccupied with those things. Do something about it and get on with your business.
All right, so we're down to the end of the show.
Wow.
It was a really, I know.
Went fast.
We could do this for hours.
Same time next week?
I always say, could we do this for 2 hours? It's great.
Power in the room.
Power in the room. I know, I love the energy. So we're still going. Oh, anyway, I just wanted to finish up the show real quick. And I just want to remind everyone next week, the people that we have on our next week is going to be Shelley Blancy. She's stem cell representative and a strong woman that qualifies herself. It's really an interesting story. And I have Shez Haitha, and she's with Hera Hub. So Hera Hub is like an area for you to be able to do your work. And I just wanted to end very quickly by reminding everyone you can text lead up to 72,000 to get into our funnel. Lorenzo, they can text code me.
Yeah, code me to
72,000.
Yeah,
that gives them an opportunity to get your bank code, to learn a little bit more about your personality. And I just want to let all of our listeners know, because I always close with, remember that you are the only you that has ever been, and you are the only you that will ever be. So how you decide to move forward in your life and be strong is up to you. So don't bankrupt all of us with your skills and everything that you have. to offer the world. Give it to us because we're waiting for you to ignite your power. So we will be here same time, same bat channel next week. We will talk to you all then. Thank you so much, Wendy, Lorenzo,
Thanks for having
Stacy.
me.
Wonderful. See you guys next
Awesome.
week. Take
Thanks,
care. Have an
Colleen.
awesome week.
Bye, audience.
20, 30
All right, great
seconds.
job.
All
All
right.
clear.
We will be out of here. Okay, so we have a guy that comes in behind us, and everyone usually grabs my shit, and we go running out of here. It's crazy. I'm like, can I buy 5 or 10 minutes in between my show or something? That, yeah, that's just a new thing. That hey, you guys on Facebook,
yeah.
I just want to say goodbye really quick.
We were gonna hang
and
up.
love you guys, so I've got to come around and stop that really fast.
Right, you do that. I'll get
All
the.
right.
Great job, ladies. Awesome.
Jump out into the lobby.
I feel like
I will stop this.
my new tenant agreement continues to evolve every single